The number one, I want to show you this, the number one show, most downloaded, most viewed in recent history. It surpassed all other shows so quickly, shot to the top. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's through Disney Plus. It's called The Mandalorian. 100 million downloads and views per week. 100 million over the last 8 or 9 weeks. Crazy stuff. Top show. My kids, I've watched it. And I tell you what's interesting. The reason I'm bringing it up, it's very interesting because there is a lot of similarities between this group of people, this character, and the early church. This group was forced to live underground. They're not accepted by the majority of society. Not a race of people, but a people of creed. They join by their creed. They join, and this is their motto. This is the way. They are required to wear armor, and their helmet they must never remove. Their main character finds a baby wrapped in dirty clothes and in a cradle. At first, this baby is an enemy and the basis of a transaction. But the baby uses his power and tenderness to transform the heart of the main character, the Mandalorian. So much so that the Mandalorians, the whole group, end up dying to protect this baby. In the last episode, we found out that the Mandalorian moved from a transactional relationship to a personal relationship with this baby. I don't know if any of that sounds familiar, but think of it again in consideration with the early church. A group forced to live underground, not accepted by society, not a race of people, but made up of many races, a people of a creed who come together. They have to wear armor, and their helmet they must never remove. The New Testament says this, that you have the helmet of salvation. The main character finds a baby wrapped in dirty clothes. We found a baby in a manger. At first, this baby is considered an enemy. That's what the Scripture says. But because of the baby's humility and power, he saves us. Saves us from our way of life, changes us, and many followers have ended up dying to protect the name of this baby. Then finally, we move from a transactional relationship with this baby to a personal relationship with the baby. Interesting, isn't it? I say to my sons and my kids, I say, some of the greatest stories that are told in books and film, some of the greatest stories are great because they tell the greatest story. And I love it when a story, you just find life in it. Now, let's move from Yoda to Jesus, all right? So forget that. If you don't like Star Wars, you'll like this, all right? I promise, all right? So let's go to Mark chapter 1. And what's most interesting about this, I'll tell you a little kind of a funny backstory, is weeks before The Mandalorian came out, I even met with some of our guys, and we were praying and talking about discipleship, how to move from, and Brother Chris, you and I have talked about this, the discipleship is more than just here. It's more than just this transaction of information. It's more than just a download of what we need to know. It's more than just coming to a Sunday school class or going to a small group and just answering questions, checking the boxes. It's more than that. It's a way of life. And so I've just been praying and some fasting and a lot of study and a lot of preparation how to move us from one to the other, from just knowledge to a path of obedience. There you go. For your Star Wars fans, I made one. This is the way. All right. Anyway, no, we're going to be talking about the way of Jesus. The way of Jesus.